What up, big dog? Big dogs in the house. Big dogs. I got faked out today. I shorted this low. I shorted here. I then shorted here again. I was break even here for a while and I decided to hold the trade longer. And then I third pineappled here. But I actually took like 4 entries here. I was risking 0.5% on this trade, 1/4% or 3/4% on this trade, so that was 1.1 or 2%. No, that was 0.8%. And then with these two, these entries here, I was risking another percent. So I was risking like 1.3%. So once we got down to here, I think it was the first push down. I think it was this one. No, it pushed down and I closed on the second push down. Or the first, I don't remember. So I took 4 entries here for 200 pips and I lost 1 entry for 100 and another entry was break even. So sorry, this was in total I came out with 50 pips profit. So whatever this was came out to 50 pips more than this one. I took some sells here earlier. I got busy. So I set a TP at 25 pips and I just left. But my full TP, if I was gonna be here, since I took the trade at 6:30 and I had to go walk my dog. But if not, if I would have been on my desk, I would have held to full TP, which was here at market open, 100 pips on the dot. Or sorry, 50 pips on the dot. Damn, it's about a downpour. And usually when it does, my power flickers, so I hope it doesn't. So, it looks, so we have a couple of things here. Our monthly has no bottom wick here. We know that last month when it drove without that bottom wick, we grabbed liquidity, broke previous monthly highs, and then rebroke the monthly lows, closing doji. This was a high volume month and it all came back to break even. Sorry, it just came back to close doji. So right back to the opening. So last month did nothing but grab liquidity. So if you see here, we have our resistance, our support. Last month we grabbed liquidity, we faked out, and we came back down and we filled the range. Usually, when you liquidity grab outside of the range like this, it's for a continuation. And in this case, we continued, we closed above on the weekly, and we faked out. Now we have liquidity going the other way. So, is this low here that closed below this minor support or order block, whatever the fuck you want to call it, back into range? Is this going to be a fake out for the continuation down to maybe grab more orders down here and grab a steeper wick than this one before the continuation up, or maybe grab orders right at this level before continuing up? Because we now have two monthlies with barely any range to the downside and crazy wicks here to the upside. So we're now starting to reject all these levels here. So if we come back down to the daily, let's delete all these levels. So we have a couple of ideas, right? We could be faking out on the weekly in order to continue down to grab that bottom wick for the monthly. Why last month spent the entire month all the way up here? The last week is when it tried to grab a bottom wick, and now this current monthly needed a top wick. So are we going to spend the rest of this month coming down to fill the range to the downside now that the last month grabbed all of these orders here? Look at these last two monthly candles, right? Look how the volume has been dying down. This month was 5,000 pips. The following month was 3,000 pips. Last month, 2,200 pips. So we've been we're starting to form a little wedge. So with this weekly closing below, faking out on the most recent weekly candle, we now close back into this minor range. Are we gonna continue up from here? We have some minor resistances or weekly resistances here that are strong in the way. Pretty much this whole area here. So we now have no top wick on the current weekly candle, a massive bottom wick on the weekly, the same size of the body of the previous weekly candle almost. A flipped bullish is not bad, right? So on the monthly, I would like a steeper top wick before the continuation down. It doesn't necessarily need a steeper top wick before the continuation down. But if it is trying to give us a steeper top wick before the continuation down with this bullish previous weekly, this current weekly now closing the way it is, and forming the way it is, it's early, man. It's fucking Monday. It's Monday, and the volume today already drove us down 50% of last week's range. I would say this is a very decisive level here, because this is the level that's going to tell us, are we going to continue up, or are we going to start reversing, right? We have an uptrend here. when you draw a trend line, you have tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just clean. I mean, you don't even have to draw your shit perfectly, and you have your 1 tap, it almost tapped, 2 taps, 3 taps, 4, 5, 6. It's just, if you keep following that trend all the way down, it's just clean. Right? We're bouncing, 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 bouncing. But look at these bounces here. What do you notice about these ranges here? Look at this crazy volume here. Well, we just triple topped here, right? We're now coming back down. This is the level that's going to determine if we're going to continue down or if we're going to start coming up now. So I think that we're probably going to be in some sort of chop or indecision until the market decides what it wants to do. There's a lot of sell pressure here. We have a massive wick here, and we now have some sort of money printer type setup forming here. I know it's not a top wick, but even when we get a similar kind of setup, the idea is still there. So now that we look at the 4-hour time frame, we grabbed orders above all of these ranges, we tapped into this previous level, we'll actually breaking into these highs, attempting to retest these resistances and failing, and then we flipped bearish. Our hourly candle looks like the money printer the opposite way, so I would like to wait to see if we can get more confirmation for sells, maybe this top wick being a little bit higher and then flipping bearish to fill the wick down. Maybe we can get some sells like that, but I would need maybe like another wick into these areas and then a flip bearish, and that would be our push. happens when you talk shit to people. His entire family tree felt that. Alrighty. Are my accounts copy traded on? Leader 1. Alright, we're Gucci. We are Gucci. It's about to downpour. Alrighty, we're getting that 5-minute push to the downside. You usually don't reject off the highs that easily. doing here? What up, Jonathan? Alright, so it looks like we're dumping here, right? We got the 15-minute that's coming down bearish. We got the 30-minute that's actually flipping, about to re-break the lows. We broke these highs. We're coming back down. Let's wait for this hourly closure and see what kind of setup we can get on the hourly here. Yeah, today in Florida, it's 86 right now. Hey, thank you, bro. If the hourly wasn't so close to closing right now, I would take a rebreak of the daily low here. Dang. Let me close my windows. Yeah, whatever this playlist is, it's fucking trash. It's the smaller play here. Makes the most sense. Let's see what we can do here. Ah, shit. Yeah, I recorded quite a bit of stuff with my drone. That's pretty cool. I took it 100 meters in the air. It's another clip I have. So these are cinematic drones, so I can't do that. But I'm gonna be getting an FPV setup one of these days. I gotta practice, put maybe 10 hours on the simulator, and then I can get one. I'm gonna get the Avata. Going on vacation at the end of August, and I'm trying to get all of my skills in line, so that way when I get off in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and shit, I can get some nice videos. I think I'm gonna have a sell stop on the rebreak of the daily low. That's one of the things that I've like made it a goal to consume less and create more. Like, even if I wasn't making YouTube videos and shit, I would still be recording videos and editing videos because I was doing that even before I started YouTube. I've been recording me skating, recording me playing basketball, recording like cool shots of my car and editing and all that shit since I was a kid. I've been had video drones before I started making any YouTube videos. This is my first like cinematic drone. It's the DJI Mini. Alright, so I'm in there. My stop loss is if we start to re-break the daily highs here, I'm out. Off this 4-hour level, I'm assuming all of these 4-hour break of the highs were it. FPV drones are awesome. I have one of these with a little camera, and then I jerry-rigged the battery, 2 batteries in one, so that it can last longer. The batteries weigh 6 grams, so I had to offset the weight by cutting off some of the plastic to try to get 6 grams, but I couldn't. I was only able to cut off like 2 grams. So the only difference is now instead of having 2-minute flight times or 3-minute flight times, it now has like 6 or 7-minute flight times. But the last minute, it like falls heavy. FPV drones are fucking dope. See if we can get a dump here. How was your guys' day? Trade 13 pips, nice, pretty good. Had 2 break evens and a W. Nice. Continue all the way through, not get this pullback. Daily bottom wick. This is a shit bottom wick on the daily. We rebroke the 2 previous daily highs. I would assume we should see a dump. $15 is starting to close a little bit bullish. Let's hope it goes in our favor, Jonathan. Let's hope it goes in our favor. Hey, Don Julio. How you doing, bro? This thing is pulling back here. 15-minute is about to close. Let's see what price does. A we got it. It'll grow. It'll grow. And that wicked us in and went into instant drawdown. How much did that wick us in for? 3 pips. $15 just closed. 15 closed bullish, forming a support here, respecting this level. He also respected this minor resistance here, and he grabbed orders first before coming down. Remaining under here. This would be the hourly rebreak of the low if we come back down and flip and hit it. It's probably gonna take a few minutes to drive. Don't worry, this will pick up. It's because I've been slacking a little bit on the streams and my energy has been a little bit weak. But I'm just putting in a lot of hours. I need to chill out. I need to chill out. You know, it's like you pray and you ask for certain things in life, and then you start to get them, and then you start to realize how much work it actually takes to keep these things, and how much work is necessary in order to achieve those things. And you're like, holy shit, this was tough. This is hard, but this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted all the smoke, and now I'm in the smoke. I can't complain. I gotta go through it. It's like you want a rich lifestyle, you want a fancy car, you want to have a nice house, but then that bill comes and you're like, oh shit, I gotta pay the bill. Then we just money printed off the daily low. So much volume here. Yep. Yeah, at work too. My cousin and I run an HVAC company, literally just me and him. And it is tough. My uncle is sitting back on the sidelines, not doing much now. His wife is the one answering the phones and doing the paperwork at the office. My cousin and I are doing the legwork and all the sales. One thing is for sure, I don't think I'll ever leave my 9 to 5 business. The more that I see professional traders and traders that make a lot of money, the more I notice they all have multiple jobs. They all still work. One trader that I found online, he's made over $250,000 in prop firms or some shit like that, and he still works his cybersecurity job. And he's because he lives in a certain time zone where he doesn't trade the New York session until like halfway through his workday when he's done almost working basically. So he's able to keep his regular cybersecurity job, taking care of the company that he takes care of and securing their networks and all that shit. You know, sometimes that's a hard job, and if you take a liking to the people there and you're basically their guy, you can make a lot of good friends and you can make a lot of money doing shit like that. My little brother does something similar and he loves his job. And he still trades. But I believe that a brick and mortar business, something tangible in real life that I can hold apart from internet money, is very, very important, man. At least some real estate or, you know, something. But like a real life business that a person comes up to you, wants your service or wants what you have or needs what you have and pays you a fee for it. A real person, not just on the other side of the screen. If the day after tomorrow they say no more trading, well, it's not going to happen, obviously. But you never know, bro. One day you have no cell phone anymore. I don't know. Yeah, it's not just multiple sources of income. It's having your just being more varied and more spread out in all aspects, not just your investments being spread out evenly across like stocks, land or property or real estate, etc., etc. But your income as well, man. You never know what could happen. Especially how they're making it more difficult for us to trade prop firms. They're making it more difficult to trade a live account. And then it's like, well, I can take 10 years depositing into my live account and growing my live account to make $1 million, 20 years to make $1 million. Or I can get $1 million in prop firms for a couple $1,000s and potentially make that $1 million much faster. But if they destroy, and that's the thing, that you need like $300-400 to open up a 0.1, and then it makes sense. They don't want you, you know what I mean? But like, if I want to risk $100 per trade, let's say I have $1,000 account, I would only be able to open up 2 positions, and then if I go into drawdown like 50% of my account, it's gone. It'll liquidate me. And you have to risk $100, $150, because that's what my stops are. Sometimes my stops are $200. But I wouldn't be able to do that. I would need to instantly start with like 5K. But if you think about it, if you already have a good trading strategy, those same 5K on a prop firm can make you so much more money. So much more. You can literally buy 2-3 instant funded accounts, get to your payout on one of them, and make more money than you would have trading that 5K account for several months. I might be delusional, but that's the idea with prop firms. My live account is still doing better than my prop firms, but I'll get it down. I'll get these rules down, the greed down, not tilting Yeah, I mean, on my Forex one that I just blew, I was 500 bucks away from getting the full payout, and I tilted. It would have been almost 10x my investment, the payout. $300 account, $3,000 payout, it would have been a 60% profit split. So it would have been 1800. That would have been 6x. But I got greedy. Yeah, I've been talking to some people and really just getting my strategy down with this shit. Stop being so greedy. Taking it slower. I was watching a dude who he's like, oh, I made $100,000 today, and then you look and he's like, oh, I made sorry, he didn't make, yeah, he made 2,000 across 50 something accounts, and he's like, the other day I made 50 bucks across 55 accounts. That's a $2,700 day. Hey, the big boss. Turco, how are you, dog? Contract engineering, that's what's up, bro. I did 4 years of engineering in high school to see if that's what I wanted to really do. And after 4 years, bro, I decided that it wasn't for me. And then now that I look back, I would have liked to pursue it, but I don't know if it would have been beneficial or if I would be in the same place that I am now if I would have done that instead of air conditioning. The what ifs, my friend, the what ifs. Yeah, when I got into air conditioning, we use a lot of the same programs we did in engineering for for modeling ducts and stuff like that. And it came back full circle. And I'm like, oh, I was certified in that. It's been years since I've touched it. I don't know anything now. I got you, bro. We usually do mechanical plans for air conditioning. That's one thing that we're doing now. Um, my uncle's a self-taught in a lot of the stuff. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, we're gonna build our warehouse on this 2 acre plot of land, and so we can move and stop renting. And we've already gotten like rough plans, and then like we're overviewing them and making them better to fit what we need. I was doing Forex for the last couple of months, but I'm back to the futures accounts. Yeah, dude, our rent is like several $1,000s a month, and we've found that getting a construction loan through our business and building on the land would be cheaper than renting. Ain't that wild? You can build a 3,000 square foot warehouse and pay less in rent than renting a 1,200 square foot warehouse. Just Reg, how are you, my brother? I'm doing well, brother. I'm doing well. We're getting jerked around here a little bit. The most I saw was 10 pips. And there is volume. The candles were pushing back and forth pretty heavy. Yeah, it's beneficial for my cousin as well. He bought a house and it's gonna be on his land. And the company's gonna have a lot of leftover money. And it's our company, so the money left over is going to be profit back in our pocket. Less monthly overhead. Maybe we can use that to pick up another truck and pay another dude full time. How are you, Nadeem? How's it going, my brother? I'm sorry I couldn't help you with that crypto stuff. WAP will update their terms of service soon. As long as this 15 closes bear, I'm good to continue holding. Price just does not want to dump. The last 30 seconds just did what the last 30 minutes couldn't do. 15 closed doji. Can we get a top wick and then a flip bearish? Does DXY correlate with futures, GC? Yeah. I usually stay streaming till like 10 o'clock. It depends. If I hit a good trade, usually one good trade, I'll call it. If I hit a couple of little scalps, I'll keep trading. Yeah, I'm gonna trade already. Looks like it might be the 9 o'clock closure that brings us down into the buckaroos. Yeah, it says Utah. You guys hear that? My neighbors are popping fireworks. You kind of need that pullback for a wick fill for the hourly. It can't close all the way down here with no bottom wick. That would be very bad. This next hourly could just dump straight down, or it could just pump straight up and continue up. Ideally, the next hourly comes down. I have countdown till timer, so why doesn't it show here? Oh, it is. I'm stupid. Yeah, my neighbors are wild, bro. They were popping these fireworks, and I'm like, my car is 50 feet away, dude. One wrong move and you blow up my car. So I slept that night dreaming that my car was gonna get blown up, and I was like, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't. But luckily, when I pulled up, he had just done the last couple. You make nothing yet. Look right here. You've been in this trade for like an hour now. If you like pina coladas, getting lost in a ring. Damn, bro, I'm blowing the screen to move it. I promise you, if you draw... It looks like we got some new people in here. Let's get her done. I forgot how to draw the alien. Oh well. don't want to hold till the 9 o'clock open. Oh, stop! Stop! Ah. It's just the roofers. They're redoing my roof, and these guys are killing it. They're working till late as fuck, bro. They're just now leaving. It's because they're doing air conditioning as well, and redoing the part of the air conditioning. And if they run late, or if they're not finished, that's something they got to get done right away, because the air conditioners need to be sealed up and running, and the roofs need to be sealed, the floors need to be sealed. That's something that's got to be done all like a 4-hour process each unit. Usually they like to do 2. Sometimes they push for 3. No, they're here since 6 in the morning, bro. They start working at 7:30. The second the clock hits 7:30, they're already drilling and making noise. Why MGC for GC for the day, bro? Because MGC is the smaller contracts for less risk. $30 here. See if we get this dump. Yeah, 5 minute is fucking disgusting. It's gotta flip and break the low. And there is the hourly closure. Exactly what we've been waiting for. We get the salary play for the continuation. I think it's gonna be more waiting. I'm lowering my stops down to here. There's no reason for it to come back this high before coming down. Now that we closed bearish below, the hourly closed bearish below, the 5 minute is just forming structure bearish below. These last two 15 minutes closed bullish. Still expecting a dump. It's just gonna trickle down. Yeah, it depends. More so when my target gets reached. What's your timing strategy used for MGCW? Timing strategy. I just trade the same price action on the chart, but usually it's pretty much it moves the same. I go off of like levels and average levels because for example, on spot gold, it might tap the level. On GC, it might just barely miss the level, and on MGC, it might not even get to the level. But because I do like an average level, then that makes the most sense to me. We should see a dump here, man. It's just clean to continue dumping. I think my full TP is probably gonna be here. Okay, and I'm break even here. Yeah, we're just gonna close full here at 30 pips. That was nice. My brain down, gun smooth. Hey, I've been practicing these trades for fucking 2.5 months, bro. Practicing, or 2 months, practicing these kinds of trades, like saying, all right, dude, if I'm correct, this is what's gotta happen. This is what's gotta happen if I'm correct. So for me to close anywhere less than where, if I'm correct, that's where it's gonna go, then I'm not giving my idea. I'm not believing in my idea. I'm not trusting my idea. I'm not trusting my analysis. So it could come down another little wick and hit this level, but the fact that we were in since this level, it went 1, 2, 3, 4 times, came back, grabbed liquidity, and the 5th time it finally drove, it should have happened within the first couple of times. If it did happen within the first couple of times, I would understand that's enough liquidity. I would understand that my idea is actually playing out. Because it happened after all of this, I'm going to close at my first target. So my first target was generally the first order block after this little push up. So that zone was generally where my break even was. So, but because we were just tapping it and bouncing off it, tapping it and bouncing off it, tapping it and bouncing off of it, I was like, either we're going to come back up and hit my stop loss, which I'm perfectly fine with, or we're going to come back down and retest the full range. So I decided to hold for an extra 20 pips. I closed right here for 25 pips. 30 pips. No, sorry, 35 pips. That was, yeah, 70 bucks divided by 2 contracts. I think comms will get me tomorrow. What's that? What's the comms? Also, the alien man did not fail. I think we hit a loss with the alien man once. I think I'm gonna call it there though. I don't think I'm gonna take any more trades. This is probably gonna continue dumping down. I think that was it for me. That was 2 trades for me for the night. I'm up like 80 pips for the night. No, sorry, like 60 pips for the night. No. 25 plus 35. I'm fucking dumb as shit. 60 pips, yeah. Well, have a wonderful night, everybody. Amazing way to start the week. I'm up 1% on the week from Sunday to, I traded Asian Sunday, New York, and then now Asian again. So in the last 3 sessions, I'm up 1%. Take it easy, gang. I appreciate you guys for showing up. It came back down and tapped our level. We are Gucci. Have a wonderful night, everybody.